Cześć moi drodzy, dzisiaj sobie obejrzymy Hiko i jego analizę, pokomentuję ją, mam nadzieję, że się z nią zgadzacie, także lecimy. Naprawdę dużo się tutaj wydarzyło, także lecimy. Okej, widzicie, jest dużo rzeczy, czemu mają telefony.
At the end of the video, I'll tell you about a detail that none of the analysts noticed. It has to do with the death of large cameraman.
Okej, jakieś rzeczy, które my przeoczyliśmy. No dobra. Jestem ciekaw, co on tu odkrył. Ciekawego, jak myślicie? Zaraz to sprawdzimy.
As I mentioned in the previous analysis, it's likely that in the next episode, we will be shown what was happening inside the bunker under the mountain. And as it turns out, it's not just a bunker, it's an entire factory producing.
No to ja się spodziewałem tego, że to jest fabryka, nie? I tam produkują.
The blue shirt with a gold tie is beating up Skibidi. It seems like he's one of the scientists because he's wearing glasses for vision. We can infer that some developments or secret research are taking place here. And perhaps, finally,
Ale tu mają, słuchajcie, produkcję taśmową.
Originated for Skibidi toilets. On the left is another speakerman, dressed in a white shirt with a red tie. He is leisurely sharpening his knife, preparing for a confrontation.
Albo go myje, nie?
Lying on the floor. I think he was destroyed by
Ale to Skibidi też ma telefon, jak widzicie.
You can notice a phone. Apparently Skibidi toilets also spend their free time on TikTok.
Wolny czas na TikToku spędzają?
Indicating that these are the very first Skibidi. As we already know, starting from episode 43, the color of the new toilets became
No, zmieniło się w
red. On the wall,
43
they're
ten kolor.
depicting a place we haven't been to yet. I think this is a hint about the location where one of the future episodes will be filmed.
Ciekawe, nie? Tam jakieś mury są.
Skibidi toilet emblem on it. There's also some writing, but I didn't understand its meaning. If you have theories, feel free to share them in the comments. Moving on,
Appliance, chyba coś takiego, nie?
to other group members. We see this cameraman standing guard, covering to prevent any attacks from behind. Large cameraman twists the head of Skibidi and eliminates him.
Kurde, szkoda tego large'a, naprawdę nie mogę tego przeboleć.
Black speakerman moves forward in a brutal manner. Next, we see cameraman shooting from his cannon, paralyzing Skibidi, and another cameraman calmly flushes him away. The cameraman in the red shirt just stands there, observing it all. I have a dream to collect 100,000.
Ja się tak zastanawiam, słuchajcie, oni jak gdyby nigdy nic sobie żyją w tej bazie, a tam przecież na zewnątrz Tytani wszystko zaorali, nie?
He takes out his plunger from the toilet and heads towards the armored door. On it, we can also see the Skibidi toilet emblem.
No i te ślady krwi tu są, nie?
Cameraman stands with a contemplative look, trying to figure out how to hack this panel. After all, agents don't know the password, although before destroying Skibidi, they could have asked them for the password.
No jakby mogli ich zapytać w ogóle o hasło, to się nie da.
They would tell anything they could. However, this is not entirely a correct idea, as they might provide a code that doesn't open the door, but instead locks the group of agents inside. It would be a security code that Skibidi enters into the nearest panel next to the door when intruders penetrate the base. It's indeed surprising that the Skibidi toilets didn't notice the intrusion into their laboratory. It's strange that they
No to totalnie byli zaskoczeni, nie? To jest ciekawe, dlaczego?
don't have
Tu nie ma kamer w ogóle w tym.
basic surveillance cameras. Perhaps the scientist's toilet was so confident that he was the last one to enter that he didn't bother looking back. If I were in his place, I would have initiated the evacuation immediately, even if the agents hadn't entered. I doubt that this door would be a problem for the Titans.
No właśnie, Titan by to kopnął jakiś i już by rozwaliły te drzwi, nie? Wyciągnął w jakiś sposób, uderzył ręką i by wyrwali to,
They
no.
would easily open it. Next, the cameraman in the red shirt approaches.
No, Lucky Cameraman. On jest zmodyfikowany przez agenta sekretnego.
He hacks the panel mechanism, allowing the armored door to open. I believe a couple of episodes ago, he hacked a similar panel, but why do we see the green color again? I think this is a hint that it's not Alliance technology. It's Defuke's
To
technology.
jest powiązane właśnie z sekretnym
Chose
agentem.
this cameraman in red and gave him this card to hack Skibidi toilet doors. I also think it's a nod to Alex from the game Half-Life, who had a similar ability to hack doors. The cameraman on the right extends his hand, but the other doesn't react. To ease the awkwardness, the cameraman gives a thumbs up, thanking and praising the cameraman in the red shirt for his talents. After the doors open,
No właśnie, ten kamera jest w ogóle taki, nie zachowuje się jak prawdziwa kamera. Mówię wam, że to jest ten z odcinka 47, tam gdzie się bił TV Man z G-Manem. Zaskoczeni są totalnie, no.
The agents swiftly attack the toilets, paralyzing them with shots from their cannon. Black Speakerman rushes forward. Plungerman throws his plunger into the face of Skibidi, swiftly approaches, and flushes him into the
No
toilet.
tutaj
The most
opowiada, co
interesting
się...
part is that the speaker man with the baton continues to beat Skibidi. Apparently, he is not interested in what will happen next. He is on his own wavelength. This cameraman
świat,
decides to
nie?
torment Skibidi and slowly pierces him with a knife. Then, the cameraman in the red shirt opens the next door and calls everyone over. Plungerman approaches a bit closer, pointing to something ahead. At the end of the corridor, a shadow appears. At this moment, I thought that another Skibidi would emerge, considering someone surely must have heard what just happened. However, instead of Skibidi, a mechanical loader appears, picking up one of the crates. Large cameraman
No,
is
te
already
skrzynki
prepared for an
ładują,
attack,
nie? Z
but
tym
the agents go
kwasem.
unnoticed. Next, Plungerman runs ahead, even though the cameraman tries to stop him.
No i
But
on
this
chciał
doesn't
ich
help,
powstrzymać, żeby poszli
as there
tam
is a
na dół,
tremendous
nie?
curiosity about what is happening there. Honestly, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be able to resist the temptation to see what's going on in such a situation either.
Może on nie chciał w ogóle, sekretny agent, żeby oni wiedzieli, jak są Skibidi Toilet
Plungerman gets closer
produkowane,
and
nie?
carefully peeks around the corner. We can notice who took the crate. It was a loader toilet. Next we see a conveyor on which Skibidis are slowly moving. At that moment, I realized that it's not just a bunker. It's an entire factory for
No,
producing
fabryka,
new
no.
Skibidi toilets.
Ja to
Plungerman
mówiłem,
approaches a bit
laboratorium,
closer,
nie?
and we can see toilet workers assembling new Skibidis like Lego pieces. They weld barrels with toxins, and apparently, we will see these new Skibidis in future episodes. Honestly, they will be among the most dangerous small
No,
toilets.
to są chyba Skibidi takie, wiecie, do misji
Toxins they will use as
w
weapons
jedną
can corrode
stronę.
anything. Another worker is attaching jetpacks to them, and I think very soon we won't see
latające, no to część z nich pewnie uderzy w tytany.
Skibidi without jetpacks. Indeed, jetpacks provide a significant advantage and enhance the effectiveness of Skibidi toilets. Additionally, from above, you can notice other barrels with toxins, possibly meant for a special Skibidi squad. It's quite strange why the agents have an elite squad of soldiers like Plungerman, Black Speakerman, TV Woman, and others, whereas Skibidi toilets don't seem to have a similar squad. Or is that the case? I think this is a question that could be explored in a separate video. Feel free to write in the comments if you'd like to see such a video. I have several theories and thoughts on this topic.
No
Also,
właśnie,
the number
mutantów
2
nie
on the helmet
widzieliśmy.
of the worker could either be his actual number
Numer 2 był na tym, to nie zauważyłem. Ty, no
or a hint
ciekawe.
related to the second part of episode 68. Next, large cameraman suggests making some noise, but Plungerman signals to wait. Large cameraman waves his hand, indicating that Plungerman is being overly cautious. Although it's not like that at all, and Plungerman did everything right. Unnecessary attention is not needed right now, especially since there's no information on how many toilets are actually here. They could easily surround our agents and destroy them.
No ten
and I
tu
think
jest
none
jakiś chyba ochroniarz, nie?
of us want
Naukowiec.
that. Next, Plungerman approaches a bit higher, and when he crosses this yellow line in the upper right corner, you can notice a red warning sign, recording error. This means that everything his camera sees is not being recorded, and all this information is not transmitted to the Alliance headquarters. Apparently, Plungerman did this not out of personal interest, but so that the scientist cameraman in the headquarters could see in real
No właśnie, ci tego nie zobaczyli. Też TV Meni, ci, wiecie, reszta sojuszu, że tak się produkuje te...
and how the factory for producing new Skibidi toilets is functioning. From below, we can see large jetpacks for the larger Skibidi.
Na
Next
dole
to them
są
in the
te Skibidi
container,
Toilet
you can notice
małe,
armor.
białe.
Here we see a white toilet,
No.
likely a scientist overseeing the functionality of all the mechanisms. In the distance, 2 toilets are sitting at the computer, also monitoring the monitors for the proper functioning of all processes. It would be better if they were watching behind the cameras. They should be ashamed that it was so easy to infiltrate their base. Also, I want to point out the barely noticeable green glow.
No to już pokazałem wam o tym, że tam jest takie zielone światło i wygląda jakby coś tam się
indicates that a
naukowiec
secret agent is
pojawił.
there, although we don't see them. Next, Plungerman turns around, sees that he is expected, and steps back. In this frame, I want to show you the most interesting Easter egg in the entire series.
No i tutaj jest link do tego filmu, nie?
Fook left a link to a video,
No.
which you can notice on this board. I've left this link in the description. I won't spoil what the video is about.
No tam
See
jest
it for yourself.
ten
You'll
Godzilla,
be
nie?
pleasantly surprised. As soon as the cameraman crosses the yellow line, 2 things happen. One good and one bad. The good, his camera is working again and recording everything. The bad, they've been caught and the red lights come on and the
Czyli to wygląda, że to było jakoś, nie wiem, ochrona przed kamerami,
alarm
nie?
sounds. And then we see a really cool Easter egg. It's related to the TV series Breaking Bad.
Breaking
In their
Bad.
claws, you can notice white bottles. Those who have seen the series might understand what they're up to there. I'm afraid to imagine what Walter White might have hooked all the Skibidi on. Although after this, it becomes clear why the toilets sometimes come up with such silly ideas. Suddenly, The Skibidi workers decide to attack the agents. Large cameraman shoots the toxic barrels. They explode, momentarily distracting the attention of the toilets. Next, the cameraman in the red shirt hacks the panel, and then the door starts to close. However, one of the Skibidi workers manages to injure large cameraman. You can notice a sharp saw blade stuck in his shoulder, but that
No to jest niestety najsmutniejszy moment z tego wszystkiego.
Next, the entire team heads towards the door they recently opened, but unexpectedly, another Skibidi appears in the corridor. From his appearance, you can tell it's another scientist. For some reason, with his laser, he destroys his own kind. Although these toilets are already dead, I still don't understand the logic
To
of
są
these
te
Skibidi.
toalety, z których to jest miejsce, on nie wie o co chodzi, ja wam wytłumaczę. To jest to miejsce, z którego przyszły, no ci agenci przyszli i oni zniszczyli te toalety, to są te.
Then Plungerman jumps abruptly into the elevator.
Szkoda, że
Large
temu się nie
cameraman
udało,
rushes in as
cholercia.
well, but he gets shot by the scientist's laser. The scientist tries to open the closing doors, and the agents open fire on him with everything they have. The final bazooka shot from large cameraman helps stop the scientist. The doors close, showing a heavily wounded large cameraman. He signals that he doesn't need help, to leave him. It's already too late. He hands his protective lens to Plungerman with a
No
trembling
niestety,
hand,
najsmutniejszy
gesturing that
moment
everything's
z tego
okay,
wszystkiego.
and then he dies. Also, I found another Easter eggs on the internet.
No i to jest scena z czegoś?
It's sad to see one of the agents die. Let's pay respect to the memory of those who gave their lives
To jest scena podobna do jakiejś sceny z gry, tak?
Let's write something good about him in the comments and let's never
Ej, no ciekawe. Jak myślisz, co to za gra była? Ciekawe, ej, nie?